Today I'd like to introduce you to the Gimagine Award, an online program for young learners designed by the Goethe-Institut UK as part of our motivational offers for students. As you can see, the Gimagine Award is a DofE approved activity, and today I'd like to explain in more detail how it can be used as part of participants' skills section. So we will start off with an introduction. So what is the Gimagine Award and what are its benefits for your participants? What does the Gimagine Award look like? What is the program offered to students and what does it look like from inside? And then thirdly, how can you take, or how can your students take, German as a skill for the Duke of Edinburgh's Award? We've got two pathways here. One is for individual students who can do the Gimagine Award with an approved activity provider, and the other option is to offer the Gimagine Award to a group of students by an internal DofE assessor at your school or youth centre. So first of all, what is the Gimagine Award? The Gimagine Award is a dynamic, self-paced, online program for young learners which culminates in a certificate of achievement. It includes 20 German starter courses, 20 German booster courses, and 20 future competency modules that connect key future skills between UK and Germany and hence go beyond the language and into the cultural as well. Our main target group are 14 to 18-year-old participants with both no prior knowledge of German, so these would be the young participants who do the starter course, or with some prior German knowledge. These would be young people who would do the booster course. The overall objective of the Gimagine Award is to be a motivational offer. So this is really a teaser program for young learners who may not have got in touch with German before, who may had to stop their German learning journey and want to take it up again. And what it does, it helps them to acquire some basic German language skills and also international future skills that we call global learning skills throughout the Gimagine Award. And all of those skills are brought to them through an accessible format that ensures a sense of achievement and motivates further German learning. So what are the benefits of the Gimagine Award? First of all, the Gimagine Award has been designed to be a very independent online learning program for young learners, which means it offers a lot of flexibility. Students will be learning in a self-paced way. They can decide when to learn, how much to learn in a given time frame, and it can be done very independently, so they don't need to be in school, they don't need supervision from a teacher or another coordinator. The Gimagine Award can be used as a skill for the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, which makes it a very easy and accessible way of fulfilling the skills section. But it doesn't have to be used for the Duke of Edinburgh's Award and can also be used in the school setting, or as part of a German club, which I will talk a bit more about later on. Additionally, it's a very accessible tool, meaning that participants do not have to have German in school. The school does not need to provide German classes because the Gimagine Award kind of caters to the learning journey from start to finish and supports learners along the way, so there's no supervision by an expert teacher required. Additionally, it has a very low participation fee. We also offer many scholarships if you look at our website, and it is a mobile-friendly program for young users, so they can be doing it on their way home from school in the bus or quickly in between during lunch break. So this is a very flexible and adaptable format they can use. The Gimagine Award is aimed at increasing motivation for German and for learning languages in general and being curious about the world. So it's a teaser offer, really, for young people. This is why we used a lot of TikTok-style videos and multimedia activities, making it very vibrant and very fun to use. And I think it's worth mentioning that we do not actually use TikTok videos, so no student is prompted to use TikTok whilst using the Gimagine Award. The videos are just in the style of a TikTok video. Additionally, we're giving students more agency by being able to choose their own future skills modules according to their interests. A little bit more about that later on in the presentation. The Gimagine Award is also very resource friendly. So as we know, a lot of teachers, but also a lot of assessors, coordinators at different centres have a lot of work on their hands already. So what we have created here is a tool that can give an automatic certification. So automatically tells students how many points they've got when they've reached a certain requirement, for example, for Duke of Edinburgh's bronze or silver. And that means it really frees up assessors' time, because all they will have to do is look at that certificate to be able to tell the amount of hours hours and the kind of achievement a participant has completed through the Gimagine Award. And then also, of course, we have the approved activity provider option, whereby an individual student, completely without the support of a teacher or coordinator, can do the Gimagine Award and be directly assessed through us, and we will upload the assessment report to EDofE. Now on to the actual Gimagine Award program. So the Gimagine Award is divided in two strands, one of which are the German courses, and they take up most of the time that learners will be doing in the Gimagine Award. And they are divided into the German starter course for complete beginners and the German booster course, which caters to an early learning level between A1 and A2 for German learners. On the other side, the second strand, we have the global learning courses. So these are the future skills. And here the students have a free choice of modules. Depending on their interests, they can choose a few modules and collect points. As you can see below, there's different certificates you can acquire through the Gimagine Award, and it always is a combination of German courses and global learning courses that participants will have to do in order to receive a certificate. So the weight is always more on the German course. In the case, for example, of the overall normal Gimagine Award certificate, pupils are required to do 20 German modules, so spend 20 hours learning German, and then collect about 5 hours worth of global learning points in the global learning section. You can also see the requirements for DofE bronze or silver for 13 hours and also the DofE certificate for silver with 26 hours below, all of which are a combination of German courses and global learning courses for your participants. The Gimagine Award platform is very self-explanatory. On the homepage, as you can see a little bit here with our design, there's a very clear distinction between the German language and the global learning courses. And in the how-tos on the same page, all relevant questions about the Gimagine Award are answered for students, so they know exactly where to go. They know exactly how to proceed and where to get their certificates, and also which requirements to fulfill to acquire a certain certificate that they are after. Let's have a quick look at the actual German modules, just so you get a bit of a feel for them. So per course, per German course, we have the German starter and the German booster course. We have 20 modules, which each take approximately 1 hour. So it's about 20 hours per course. The starter course is a very much a teaser offer, a motivational offer, which is using former Goethe TikTok videos with our Alex, a German teacher. And the booster course is a foundation course. So basically here we're looking at A1, A2 level. And this is for students who have previously learned German at maybe roughly GCSE level, beginner GCSE level, and want to either expand their German or support their German learning journey in class with the Gimagine Award. Pop-up activities enable the mobile use, so I'll just kind of play through for you. We basically show the German starter courses or the German booster courses in a learning path, so students know exactly where they are in their German learning journey. They click on one of the courses, one of the dots that you can see on here. They will have a pop-up where it kind of says the title of the next German learning module. They'll go into the module where they see all the different steps they have to complete in order to fulfill the course. And then by clicking on a specific activities, for example, Süßes sonst gibt Saures, a theme, 3 more activities will pop up, and they can do those activities directly in a small screen as well. So this is a very adaptable scheme, as you can see below. So this is kind of the design of the German courses. Then if we look at the global learning modules, we have 6 different themes. I can show these themes to your right. So we've got arts and music, future skills, sustainability, society, translation, and lifestyle. And behind all of these themes, we've got several modules surrounding those themes that always build a link between the UK and Germany. So there's always cultural knowledge, cultural comparison, new interesting fun facts about certain topics, and just really interesting themes that students can work on to broaden their own horizons in different areas. The modules are completed based on interest, as I've said before. So what students do with the global learning courses is they collect different points from the different modules, and those points count towards their overall global learning count. So The language, this would be important, I think, for many, is mainly English. So the instructions are in English and some of the content is also in English. Only the videos are often in German with English subtitles. And the reason for this is that, of course, the Gimagine Award is meant to also be able to be used by complete beginners. And therefore, the global learning modules cater to those complete beginners, but they always include a little German exercise, some vocabulary, a word grid, German videos, and of course the cultural context that they provide. We currently have a choice of 20 different modules throughout these 6 themes, and we will continuously be adding to these modules as we go on with the Gimagine Award. Now, just as I've shown you the German module, I'm just showing you a global learning module. So this is an example for if we clicked on the theme sustainability, we can see 3 different options here, 3 different modules. If we now want to choose SDGs, this would open, so we can see it's a different structure from the German module. And by clicking on the second theme, the second task, we can get directly to the actual task, as you can see below. Now, I would also like to give you an insight into the Gimagine Awards progress dashboards, because what is very nice about them and enables independent learning for students with an actual sense of achievement is that they directly show students how far they've come. So as you can see here, students can see continuously how many points they're collected in the global learning section. They can also see which German starter or booster modules they've already completed. And as I mentioned before, they usually only have to do one of the courses. However, and this is worth mentioning here, the Gimagine Award, once you've signed up, you can do all courses on it. So even though you might only need 5 global learning courses for a specific certificate, you could do all 20 modules. If you start with starter course, but then you realize, actually, I really enjoy German, I want to kind of go on, you can also do the booster course. So you can have the entire journey and do all 60 to 70 hours worth of learning in the Gimagine Award program without paying anything extra. As I mentioned before, the students will get an automatic certificate. So as you can see here, there's a little lock on them. So these will automatically be unlocked when a student or participant has completed the requirements for each certificate. And here you can see my certificate for the Duke of Edinburgh's bronze for 13 hours. That's what it would look like. And that's what your students would have if they came to you, for example, as an assessor. Now let's have a look at German as a skill for the Duke of Edinburgh's Award with an approved activity provider. This is an option for individual learners, so this is not for group learners, this is not for you if you have an assessor at school who can assess German, but if you want to tell your participants, your DofE participants, there's this option and you can do it completely independently from school. The Gimagine Award is an approved activity by the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, and our friends of the Goethe-Institut UK, as you can see here on the right, FGI UK, support participants from start to finish. So how it works is basically there's of course no additional work for DofE coordinators or assessors, because our friends of the Goethe-Institut UK will cater to the entire process. And also this makes it more accessible for participants who had to stop learning German or whose school doesn't offer it and therefore also can't offer an assessor. So again, you can share this with all your students regardless of your school's German provision, and they will be able to take part in it. Now, how this particular strand works is that individual participants can just sign up with their guardian's approval. The cost is £30 per participant, and this gives them the entire assessment, but also access to the Gimagine Award beyond their certificate, so they can continue learning afterwards as well. There's a choice between bronze and silver for 13 weeks, which equals 13 hours worth of German learning, or silver, which would be 26 hours, 26 weeks, so roughly 6 months worth of German learning. Participants will receive continuous support from the Gimagine Award team. We have an automatic DofE certificate on completion of the required modules, and of course the Gimagine Award team assessor will create and submit the assessment report to eDofE. So no involvement by a school assessor is required. Everything just runs directly through us, and we communicate with participants after, of course, receiving the consent of their parent. What is also possible is to offer German as a skill for the Duke of Edinburgh's Award with an on-site assessor. So this would be something where our group licenses come into play. Gimagine Award licenses can not just be purchased by an individual, as we've just seen, but also as a bundle. And these bundles are available to schools and youth centres. You can see the pricing to your right. We also have scholarships available. That's very important to say. Later on, I'll give you a QR code on how to get to the 2 different sites where you can either apply for a scholarship or request a bundle of licenses according to the price ranges to our right. So how this particular strand works is that a teacher or coordinator can request a bundle of licenses with us directly. The teacher or coordinator receives a so-called magic link via which all participants can just sign up, and they're then directly assigned to their teacher, and the teacher can see their progress. So that's a very nice way of kind of looking into your students' progress. You're able to nudge them, to give them a little nudge, and make sure that they're fulfilling their requirements in the time that you've given them. And in this case, the participants will again complete the Gimagine Award to the desired level, so Duke of Edinburgh's bronze or silver, or they can do the Gimagine Award, and they receive the respective certificate. And on the basis of that certificate, you as the teacher or coordinator, as a DofE assessor basically, can create and submit the assessment report to DofE. So it's quite similar to the previous model for individual learners. However, the assessment is not done through us, but you as the assessor will provide the support and also offer the assessment and submit it to DofE. What might also be interesting to you if you're a teacher, if you're working with groups, is that you can also use the Gimagine Award without the DofE component. And examples here include a German club. We have, as you can see on your right, free resources for up to 10 sessions, completed with lesson plans, PowerPoint presentations, worksheets for students. So everything you need for the Gimagine Award Club you can find on our website. And that's a nice pre-summer holiday activity, for example. You can also do it with students who have not had German before as an extracurricular activity. And what is also interesting is that older learners could offer the German club at a younger for younger pupils, essentially, as part of their own Duke of Edinburgh's volunteering section as well. So lots of different ways on how you can use the Gimagine Award beyond DofE. School internal competitions are another example where you could choose a certain theme, for example, sustainability, and ask students to basically complete the global learning modules in the area of sustainability and run a competition around those themes. And of course, you can always recommend or provide access to learners who do not have access to German learning otherwise, but would like to expand their intercultural skills and their German language skills. A little interesting thing here for teachers is that, of course, we have a dashboard for teachers as well. So if you were to sign up with a group sign up, as just mentioned, you would see an overview of all your students, and you could see all their different progress areas. So you can see how far they've progressed on a module level, but you can also see an entire overview of the percentage of how far students have come in the different sections. So just a quick recap. The Gimagine Award is offered in 2 ways. One way is for individual users for Duke of Edinburgh Award. It is an approved activity with the Duke of Edinburgh Award. We have a team that can provide continuous support to participants. We will then do the assessment report and upload it to DofE, and in this case no support whatsoever from teachers or coordinators is required. The only thing we would need you to do is to share the news with your participants, your DofE participants who aren't sure which skill to pick, that the Gimagine Award is an excellent choice. If you scan the code below, you will be taken directly to the sign up for individual learners. The other option, of course, is to acquire group licenses directly with the Goethe-Institut. In this case, you will receive an automatic certificate, or rather your participants will receive automatic certificates, but you will require an assessor who will then look at those certificates, write the assessment report, and upload it to DofE. The Gimagine Award can be offered as part of a Gimagine Award club, and of course the Gimagine Award can be used for school activities or group activities beyond school. And if you scan the QR code to the right, you will be taken directly to the site where you can acquire group licenses or can apply for a scholarship for a group license. If you have any questions regarding the Gimagine Award or the coupling between the Gimagine Award and the Duke of Edinburgh Award and how to do German as a skill for the Duke of Edinburgh's award, please always get in touch with us via gimagine@goethe.de. We're really happy to help and are very excited to support you and your participants on the Gimagine Award learning German for the Duke of Edinburgh's award. Thank you.